February 19th, 1945, Iwo Jima, D-Day, 0900 hours. First Lieutenant Frederick Branch runs across black volcanic sand while Japanese artillery shells explode around him. He's leading Marines forward, not with rifles, but with the ammunition those rifles need to keep firing. Branch commands the 8th Ammunition Company, 5th Marine Division. His mission? Land ammunition on the beach, move it forward to infantry units engaged with Japanese defenders, keep Marines supplied through the most intense combat in Pacific War history. He's also the Marine Corps' first black commissioned officer, commissioned just 4 months ago after the Marine Corps spent 169 years refusing to commission black men. The Marine Corps made Branch an officer reluctantly, under political pressure, after exhausting every argument against it. They commissioned him and immediately assigned him to ammunition supply, not infantry, not combat arms, not a position where he'd command Marines in battle. Then, Iwo Jima happened. The island is 8 square miles of fortified volcanic rock, 21,000 Japanese defenders in tunnels, bunkers, and caves. The largest amphibious assault in Marine Corps history, 70,000 Marines landing against entrenched defenders who've had months to prepare. The invasion needs every available officer. Branch volunteers. He leads the 8th Ammunition Company ashore in the first wave, under fire across beaches swept by Japanese artillery and machine guns, directly into the deadliest fighting the Marines face in World War II. For 36 days, Branch keeps his company functioning under fire. They land ammunition, distribute it to infantry units, evacuate casualties, maintain supply lines while Japanese shells explode around them continuously. 15 men in his company are killed. 43 are wounded. Branch keeps them working because Marines at the front need ammunition or they die. The Marines take Iwo Jima. 27 Medals of Honor are awarded, more than any other battle in Marine Corps history. Unit commendations are issued. Officers are decorated for leadership under fire. Frederick Branch receives nothing. No decoration, no commendation, no recognition that the Marine Corps' first black officer led men under fire on the most contested beach in the Pacific. He musters out of the Marine Corps in 1946. The Marine Corps, having used him when desperate for officers at Iwo Jima, returns to its whites-only officer policy. Branch's commission is treated as wartime anomaly, not precedent. For 47 years, the Marine Corps doesn't acknowledge Branch's existence. When asked about the first black Marine officer, official Marine Corps historians say, "The Marine Corps commissioned its first black officer in 1952. That's a lie. Frederick Branch was commissioned in 1945 and led Marines at Iwo Jima. The Marine Corps erased him from history because acknowledging him contradicted their narrative about when black Marine officers began. This is Frederick Branch's story. The officer the Marine Corps didn't want, used when desperate, then erased from their own history. If you want military history about institutional erasure of inconvenient achievements, subscribe right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. The Marine Corps lied about their first black officer for nearly 50 years.
The United States Marine Corps is the last American military service to accept black Americans. The Army has 4 segregated black regiments since 1869. The Navy accepts black sailors for limited roles since the 1800s. The Army Air Forces creates the Tuskegee Program in 1941. The Marine Corps accepts no black Americans until 1942. 169 years after its founding in 1775. This exclusion is deliberate policy. Marine Corps leadership argues that Marines are an elite force requiring the highest standards. Black Americans, they claim, cannot meet Marine standards. Integration would reduce combat effectiveness and harm the Corps' reputation. These arguments persist through WWII, between the wars, and into WW1004. When pressure mounts to allow black enlistment, Marine Corps Commandant Major General Thomas Holcomb testifies to Congress in 1941. If it were a question of having a Marine Corps of 5,000 whites or 250,000 Negroes, I would rather have the whites. This isn't subtle. The Marine Corps openly states they'd rather be smaller than accept black Marines. But political pressure from President Roosevelt and civil rights organizations forces change. In June 1942, the Marine Corps begins accepting black recruits, reluctantly, minimally, with maximum segregation. The first black Marines train at Montford Point, Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, completely separate from white Marine training. They're organized into segregated service units, ammunition companies, depot companies, defense battalions. Not infantry, not combat roles, support functions only. By 1945, approximately 20,000 black Marines serve, all enlisted, all in segregated units, all commanded by white officers. The Marine Corps maintains absolute prohibition on black officers. This creates a problem. Black Marines are serving in combat zones, Saipan, Peleliu, Iwo Jima. They're under fire, taking casualties, performing dangerous work. But they cannot be promoted to officer ranks regardless of capability or performance. The contradiction is obvious. If black Marines are capable enough to serve under fire, why can't they be officers? The Marine Corps has no coherent answer beyond racism. They claim black Marines lack leadership ability, while simultaneously using them for hazardous duty that requires initiative and judgment. In November 1945, facing continued political pressure and the obvious injustice of denying commissions to qualified black Marines, the Marine Corps reluctantly commissions its first black officer. Frederick C. Branch, a 28-year-old former ammunition company NCO, receives a commission as second lieutenant. He's the only black Marine officer in a service of 380,000 Marines. The commission is token, minimal compliance with political pressure. The Marine Corps has no intention of creating meaningful opportunities for black officers. Branch proves this.
Frederick Branch enlists in the Marine Corps in 1943 at age 26. He's from North Carolina, educated through high school, worked as a railway clerk before the war. He meets Marine Corps enlistment standards easily: physically fit, mentally qualified, good character references. He attends recruit training at Montford Point, the segregated training facility for black Marines. Training is rigorous, designed to prove black recruits can't meet Marine standards. Branch excels. He completes training and is assigned to the 8th Ammunition Company. Ammunition companies are support units. They transport, store, and distribute ammunition to combat units. The work is dangerous, handling high explosives, operating in combat zones, working under fire. It requires discipline, attention to detail, and leadership. Branch demonstrates all three. He's promoted to corporal, then sergeant. By 1944, he's a staff sergeant, senior NCO responsible for leading other Marines. In November 1944, the Marine Corps announces it will commission the first Black Marine officer. The selection process emphasizes finding the best possible candidate, someone whose success or failure will reflect on the broader question of Black Marine officers. Branch is selected. His performance evaluations are excellent. His leadership ability is proven. His demeanor is professional. He's ideal for the Marine Corps' purposes, qualified enough that the commission appears legitimate, non-threatening enough that white officers won't resist working with him. Branch receives his commission as second lieutenant in November 1945. He's promoted to first lieutenant in December 1945. He's assigned to continue leading the 8th Ammunition Company, the same unit he served in as enlisted, now as their officer. This assignment is deliberate. The Marine Corps won't assign Branch to command infantry. That would mean Black officer commanding white Marines in combat, which the institution opposes. Ammunition supply is safer. Branch commands Black Marines in support role, minimal contact with white combat units. But then, Iwo Jima planning begins. The invasion of Iwo Jima requires massive ammunition supply. The 5th Marine Division will assault fortified Japanese positions for weeks. Ammunition consumption will be enormous. The division needs every ammunition company functioning at maximum efficiency. The 8th Ammunition Company is assigned to the invasion. Branch, as their commanding officer, will deploy with them. The Marine Corps has no choice. They need the company, and Branch is the company commander. So the Marine Corps' first Black officer will land at Iwo Jima in the first wave, lead Marines under fire, and prove whether Black officers can function in combat. This is the story of an officer the Marine Corps commissioned reluctantly, then used when desperate at Iwo Jima. If you want military history about capability proving institutional racism wrong, subscribe right now. Drop a comment with where you're watching from. Branch led February 19th, 1945. H-hour, 0900. The naval bombardment lifts. Landing craft carrying the first wave approach Iwo Jima's beaches. Branch's 8th Ammunition Company is in the assault waves, not the first Marines ashore, but landing within hours, bringing ammunition the assault infantry needs. Japanese defenders hold fire initially, waiting for the beaches to fill with Marines and equipment. Then they open fire with everything: artillery, mortars, machine guns, rifles. The beaches become killing zones. Branch's landing craft beaches at 1100 hours, 2 hours after H-hour. The beach is chaotic. Wrecked equipment, wounded Marines, incoming fire constant. His company must unload ammunition, move it off the beach to forward dumps, and establish supply flow. This is combat leadership, not commanding infantry assaults, but leading men under fire to accomplish essential mission. Without ammunition, Marines at the front cannot fight. Branch's company must function despite casualties, chaos, and continuous danger. The first day is the worst. Japanese artillery has pre-registered on the beaches. They know exact ranges, can hit anywhere. Shells land constantly. Marines are killed while unloading boats, moving supplies, establishing positions. 15 men from Branch's company are hit on D-Day alone, killed or wounded while doing the unglamorous work of ammunition supply that makes infantry combat possible. Branch keeps the company functioning. He organizes work parties, establishes supply routes from beach to forward areas, coordinates with infantry units needing ammunition. He works under fire. Japanese snipers, artillery, mortars, all targeting the beach area. Over the following weeks, the pattern repeats daily. The company lands ammunition, distributes it to combat units, evacuates casualties, maintains operations despite continuous casualties from Japanese fire. By D+10, 10 days after landing, the company has suffered 40% casualties, 15 killed, 43 wounded, out of approximately 145 Marines. This casualty rate matches infantry units. The ammunition company is taking infantry-level losses while performing supply duties under fire. Branch's leadership is tested continuously. He must keep demoralized, exhausted Marines working despite friends killed daily. He must maintain discipline when chaos is constant. He must solve logistical problems, damaged equipment, ammunition shortages, transportation breakdowns while under fire. He succeeds. The 8th Ammunition Company continues functioning throughout the battle. Marines at the front receive ammunition when needed. Supply flow is maintained. The company completes its mission despite devastating casualties. The battle for Iwo Jima lasts 36 days. Final American casualties: 6,821 killed, 19,217 wounded, 26,038 total out of 70,000 Marines engaged. This is 37% casualties, the highest rate of any Pacific battle. The 8th Ammunition Company's casualties: 15 killed, 43 wounded, approximately 40%. Their casualty rate exceeds the overall Marine Corps rate, reflecting the danger of working continuously under fire in exposed beach areas.
After Iwo Jima, the awards process begins. 27 Marines received the Medal of Honor for Iwo Jima, more than any other battle. Unit commendations are issued. Hundreds of Silver Stars, Bronze Stars, and Navy Crosses are awarded. Officers receive decorations for leadership under fire. Frederick Branch receives nothing. No personal decoration for leading the 8th Ammunition Company through 36 days of combat. No unit commendation for the company's 40% casualties while maintaining ammunition supply. The official explanation: ammunition supply is support work, not combat leadership. Decorations are reserved for those in direct combat with the enemy. This explanation ignores that the 8th Ammunition Company was under fire continuously for 36 days. Their 40% casualty rate proves they were in combat conditions. Branch led men under fire. That's combat leadership, regardless of whether he personally fired a rifle. But the Marine Corps isn't interested in recognizing Branch's achievement. He's a wartime anomaly, commissioned under political pressure, useful at Iwo Jima, now an embarrassment the institution wants to forget. Branch musters out in 1946. The Marine Corps returns to its whites-only officer policy. No additional black Marines are commissioned until 1952, 6 years later, when political pressure forces the issue again. For those 6 years, the Marine Corps operates as if Branch never existed. Official histories of Iwo Jima don't mention him. Histories of black Marines don't mention a black officer at Iwo Jima.
The Marine Corps' official line: "We commissioned our first black officer in 1952. This is institutional erasure, deliberately excluding an inconvenient fact from official history because acknowledging it contradicts preferred narratives. Why erase Branch? Because acknowledging him raises questions. If Branch led Marines effectively at Iwo Jima in 1945, why did the Marine Corps wait until 1952 to commission more black officers? If a black officer proved capable in the deadliest Marine Corps battle, why maintain whites-only policy for 6 years? The Marine Corps has no good answers, so they erase Branch from the record. Branch returns to civilian life. He uses GI Bill benefits to attend Temple University, earning a degree. He works as a teacher, then as a school administrator in Philadelphia. He builds a successful civilian career, raises a family, and rarely discusses his Marine Corps service. When asked, he mentions serving as a Marine at Iwo Jima. He doesn't emphasize being the first black Marine officer. The Marine Corps never acknowledged it, so why should he? His commission is treated as wartime aberration, not historic achievement. Branch dies in 2005 at age 87. His obituary mentions Marine Corps service and Iwo Jima participation. It notes he was one of the first black Marine officers, not the first. Even in death, the erasure persists. In the 1990s, researchers investigating black Marine history discover Branch's commission. They find his service records, Iwo Jima deployment, leadership of the 8th Ammunition Company under fire. They realize the Marine Corps has been lying for 47 years about when they commissioned their first black officer. In 1996, the Marine Corps acknowledges the truth. Frederick Branch was commissioned in 1945, served at Iwo Jima, and was the Marine Corps' first black commissioned officer, not the 1952 officers previously claimed as first. The Marine Corps issues corrected historical records. Official histories are updated. Branch is finally recognized as the first. The recognition comes 51 years late, 9 years before his death. Branch lived most of his life with his achievement erased, restored to history only in his final decade.